welcome to another exciting edition of Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Kingsley Emmanuel, and I'm very happy to be here this evening, of course, to bring you up to speed with the latest evolving around the world of sport. It promises to be an exciting edition of the show today, as we shall take a look at the performance of Team Nigeria at the All-African Games in Ghana, as well as the latest results, coming from the match day 25 of the Nigerian Premier Football League. Not forgetting the ever exciting UEFA Champions League. We saw some interesting pictures yesterday. Arsenal, of course, making it to the round of six, making it to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League after 14 years. A very huge feat, of course, for the Gunners. We take a look at their performance as well as that of FC Barcelona yesterday. So it promises to be an exciting edition. So we'll urge you to sit tight as we are ready to take you 360 around the world of sports this evening. We'll take a short break. When we'll come back from this break, we'll bring you all that you need to know evolving around the world of sports. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, stay Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. Of course, joining me on today's edition of the show is Emmanuel Michael. Michael, good evening to you and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening to you, Kingsley, and good evening to our viewers out there. Always a pleasure doing this with you.
All right, let's quickly take a look at the situation of Team Nigeria at the All-African Games. Michael, Team Nigeria actually put up a very impressive performance in the judo event yesterday, as Franca, of course, won a bronze medal for Team Nigeria in our event.
Yeah, it was an impressive display from the Judo Federation, but then I actually expected us to win the gold medal, because in the last two editions of the All-African Game, don't forget, we also won the same bronze as well. So at this point, I expected us to aim higher, going for the gold rather. But then I think in all, it was a good outing. There were some persons or some country came there without winning a single laurels from judo, but then it looked as though Nigeria is actually growing when it has to do with judo. You may say, yes, this is not one of our area of strength, but then we're still able to at least get something out of that. But I strongly hope that in our next outing, we should be able to improve so that we'll go for the gold, because it is the goal that counts in this kind of a competition. As the goals, it matters so much that even if you win 200 silver or 300 bronze medal without having any gold medal to show for it, I mean, you won't be up there when you talk about those that is doing well on the medal slog out there. So I believe next time we are going to aim more higher.
All right, so it was really an impressive performance for Team Nigeria. Franca Odu, who won bronze, beating Sarah Sivan Rose of Mauritius 1-0 to win the third place match. Of course, it was the third African Games bronze medal for Franca. Female first medal in the swimming events of the games, where the quartet of Collins Ebenga, Clinton Oputio, Adujaba Adama, and Toby Sajudo, who won the bronze medal in the men's 4x100 meters freestyle relay with a time of 3 minutes 26.0 seconds. South Africa won the gold medal in 3 minutes 23.86 seconds, and Egypt won the silver medal in 3 minutes 25.43 seconds. Michael, Team Nigeria taking the bronze medal in the swimming events.
I think for me it's quite shocking, quite surprised for me. It's surprised in the sense that we know that swimming has never been our area of strength over the years, even though we have a couple of states here who dwell within the riverine regions. You expect us to at least gain mastery over the water so that we can also use it when it has to do with such a big game or such competition as the Olympic, the All-African game and the rest. A state like Cross River, Akwa Ibom, River State, Bayelsa, to mention but a few. These are states that is situated close to the riverine region, and for me, I think it should have been an area where we can be able to explore more talent from that angle. But then it is on record that since the history of the All-African game, we have never made swimming as our area of strength, despite the fact that, like I mentioned earlier, there are some states that lives close to the riverine region. But then winning a medal in the swimming event in this year's All-African game by Nigeria, I think it's a big feat for us. Going forward, I expect us to at least explore more options in that area. Having seen that, despite the fact that that is not our area of strength, but at least we're still able to get something out of it. It tells you that if you can actually put more efforts into developing the swimming, federation, we can actually achieve a whole lot more.
Of course, Team Nigeria can achieve lots in swimming if there is enough effort in developing athlete down there. Now, Nigerian senior national men's handball team, otherwise called the Golden Arrows, they are in Accra, Ghana as we speak. Of course, a preparation for their handball events down there at the African Games. The Golden Arrows had been undergoing an intensive training program at the National Institute of Sport Players under the tutelage of Coach Solomon Yola in a bid to continue their great form they had at the African Men's Handball Nation Cup in Egypt. The final list of 14 players will represent and have to also been released, which consists of some players that participated at the Nations Cup and a few players who played for Nigeria's under-20 team, and that came third at the just concluded International Ball Federation Trophy African Zone 3, which was also staged in Ghana. Michael, what do you make of it, Nigerian handball team in Accra, Ghana for the African Games?
I expect us to go out there and do wonders. The Nigerian handball team of recent, they have been doing pretty well, taking part in some active games out. And of course, they've also started camping very early before ahead of this All-African game. They've been in camp for about 3 to 4 weeks right now, preparing seriously for the All-African game. And with the fine form that they have been of late, I think they can also hope on that and also bank on the fact that they have been proper preparation for all the players out there. They've been in camp, like I said, 3 to 4 weeks right now, preparing effectively. And there's one thing about a proper planning, about proper camping. The players get to understand themselves. The more the players get to feel each other's, strength. I know.
Will carry the country's flag for the very first time in the tournament, and the list consists of 9 home-based players and 6 foreign players. And the team, of course, will here they're already in Accra, Ghana as it stands. Michael, this is going to be the first time we're going to see the female rugby team of Nigeria participating at the All-African Games.
Yeah, definitely. With a blend of, home-based and the foreign-based players, the blend of experience and youthfulness as well. They haven't prepared very well for this one. I don't
Eyes away from the All African Games. What do you make of the medals table? Egypt leading with about 85 medals in total, and Nigeria second with 41 medals in total as well.
Yeah, for me, I wasn't surprised when I looked at the medal table, seeing Egypt topping the medals log out there. I wasn't surprised. Why? Because, Egypt over time, they've actually gone back to the grassroots to develop sports holistically and not just narrowing it down to only football, football, and football. But then they've actually taken a painstaking effort towards, enhancing sport development proper. And again, they have a better, organizational structure. They have better facilities for some of the sportsmen and women to train out there. So when you put the necessary infrastructures in place and put the right people in the right position, I think this is the magic for them. And especially when it has to do with the North African countries, they seem to be faring better compared to the West African or Central African countries out there in the area of sport facilities and maintenance culture and all of that. So I think this is the major reason why the North Africans have always been there. If you take a look at the history of the All African game, you actually discover that Egypt, they've won it more times than any other country. So it is not a rocket science, or it is not a magic for what they have achieved so far. It boils down to proper planning. It boils down to having the right people at the right place in time. It has to boil down to people who have the passion, the willingness, the zeal to inspire others as a leader before you can get a positive result. So for me, like I said, I wasn't surprised that Egypt is topping the medals log with a very large margin to Nigeria, who is coming second with about 45 goals, 41
medals in total.
Medals in total. That includes about 22 gold medals. If you add that to what we have earlier.
Nigeria have 16 gold medal, 10 silver medals, and 15 bronze medals.
Okay, possibly maybe the official medals table for today hasn't been released, but I saw it somewhere, and that is why I made mention of 22 or thereabouts. But then the truth is that Egypt, what they have achieved today is not by fluke. They've actually worked for it, and I think other countries as well can also borrow a lead from what they are doing in the area of sports development generally. We can go back to the grassroots and start developing our sports, from different angles, and not just focusing sport development on only in football, and football. We should cut across all strata of sporting arena, so that whenever we head for such a big competition as this, we are also able to stand out. Though we say that we are not doing bad at all, seated second in the medals log, and second country in the whole of Africa when it has to do with the All African game. They have been very, very successful. But then we need to also improve. Looking at the medals table, the margin between Egypt, who is seated first, and Nigeria, who is seated second, is too far.
All right, we'll take a look at how the medals table, of course, continue to pan out. But that's what it says. Egypt leading with 85 85 medals in total, 48 gold medals, 19 silver, and 18 bronze medals. And of course, Nigeria is second with 16 gold medals, 10 silver, 15 bronze medals, 41 medals in total for Team Nigeria. Algeria are third with 15 gold medal, 20 silver, and 20 bronze medal. A total of 55 medals, of course, for Algeria. South Africa are fourth with 12 gold medal, 16 silver, and 22 bronze medal. A total of 50 medals, of course, for South Africa. Mauritius fifth, 3 gold medal, 3 silver, and 1 bronze medal. A total of 7 medals for Mauritius. But host country Ghana continue to, of course, slack as they occupy the 10th position on the medals table with 10 gold medal, 3 silver medal, and 3 bronze medals. A total of 7 medals for Ghana. Michael, host country Ghana not living up to expectation.
Yeah, for me, I think that you are able to, host a competition is not an express route for you to, sit first. If you don't actually prepare properly for the main event proper, then you are not going to get the needed result. That is what we are seeing from Ghana, who is the host country. Many people actually expected that they should at least be contending very effectively for this very one, even for the fact that they are hosting and they are also at home. The home support, what it brings in. But from the look of things, it looks as though Ghana, is actually not living up to the expectation. But then I think they have other areas that they can be very, very proud of themselves and also have something positive to cheer about, because courtesy of hosting this kind of big game here, bringing all African countries together in one country is a massive one. It's going to add a whole lot, and have a whole lot of positive impacts on their economy. I think that is the only thing that they will be very, very proud of. But looking at where they are seated on the medals log, you will say that it's very, very disappointing as a host nation.
All right, at this point, we'll take a short break. When we come back from this break, we'll bring you the latest results for March Day 25 of the Nigerian Premier Football League. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Square.
across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live and expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, social economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all yours on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network, and of course we'll bring you the latest revolving around the world of sports. Time to talk about the match day 25 fixtures of the Nigerian Premier Football League. I tell you, it's been an impressive match day 25 encounter in different centers, and the first result of course was Gombe United of course couldn't actually capitalize, couldn't actually of course get a favorable results against Plateau United, as Plateau United of course got the best in that particular encounter. 4-0. It ended in favor of Plateau United. Michael, I don't know what you make of it. Plateau United getting a very of course impressive victory against Gombe United.
An emphatic win for them, for that matter. 4-0 against Plateau United. I think it was a very, very good game out there. We're actually monitoring, that game before coming on air. And when I saw 4 goals, I think it was all done and dusted, because in NPFL here, talking about the Nigeria Professional League, it's very, very difficult after conceiving 4 goals for it to come back. I mean, that is going to be like
especially when you're playing away from home. Yeah,
that was going to be like a big miracle for any team here in the country. You are winning at home 4-0, and you are expecting the opponent to come and turn the game around to its head. I think it was very, very difficult. When they led 4-0, I knew that it was obvious that they are going to run away with all 3 points. So it's a big win for them. Let's hope that they can continue in this momentum in their next game, and because if they do, it's going to help them to finish very, very strong in the league.
Doma United continues to struggle as they lost to Shooting Stars. 1-0. It ended in that particular encounter.
I think it's a pity for Doma United. Looking at the way they actually started the season so far, at the beginning of the season, Doma United, Sporting Lagos as well. These were the two teams that were riding on a very high note when the league started. So at some point we thought maybe they are the new kids going to at least contend for the league title, but then it looked as though as the league continued to wear on, they could not find their footing any longer as they continued to struggle both home and away so far. So I think it was a disappointing one for Doma United, because I expected them to fight so hard, at least dig deep. Even if it is a point, that would have done the job for them. They can build on it, but then it wasn't to be, as they lost all 3 points. No thanks to their defense, who also were not able to do their job properly, because I had to follow the game online. They had a very big mistake which caused them the goal.
Remo Stars got the best against Enyimba Football Club. 1-0. It ended in that particular encounter. Enyimba, of course, couldn't get the win this time around after, of course, having a controversial match, last time, of course, at the Yaba Stadium. 1-0. It ended in favor of Red Bull Stars.
You know, Enyimba, they've actually struggled in their last 3 games, right? Way to you and lost there, woefully, 3 goals to 1 at a point where they were on the same point with Lobby Star, who is topping the league. You expected them to win that game and possibly topple Lobby Stars on the fell 3 goals to 1 in far away with you. In their second game, they had to win controversially. It's still very, very debatable right now. And 1 goal to 0 at the dying minute. We saw the whole drama that happened and all of that, where they actually lost. So in the last 3 games for Enyimba right now, they've actually been struggling, and I don't know what seems to be the problem, especially now that the head coach, talking about Finidi George and Oloroleke Ojo, the captain of the side, came back from the African Cup of Nations. We expected that the presence of these two, these two players, the coach and the player out there, is going to add more strength, more experience, is going to bring back the fire of the African Cup of Nations into the team. But then it looks as though they are gradually taking their foot off. It will be very, very costly, because if they lose their next game as well, then Lobby Star continue to win. Then the point disparity will further, be broadened. So I think it was a disappointing result from Enyimba, a team that is contending for the title. We don't need to be dropping points at this point in time of the season where we have few matches to go.
In the Oriental Derby, Heartland, of course, got the best against Abia Warriors. It ended 2 goals to 0 in favor of Heartland.
Ah, wow. I think this victory for Christian Obi need to be celebrated. We need to pour possibly a champagne to celebrate Christian Obi, who have, who has almost is good in losing and also drawing so far. I think finally has been able to get a victory for Heartland, who is actually struggling so far this season with Christian Obi. His first victory after a long while. This truly deserves a celebration for Heartland with Christian Obi. I think let's hope that it's going to build on this, because Heartland team of this season, you can not actually bank on them. Even if they win 10-0 in their first game, in second game you don't expect them to even score a single goal, and that is how bad their form has been this season. That is how they have been shuffling within the relegation water, 18 to 17, 19, and all of that. So I think it's a good one for Christian Obi. I think this is going to also, boost the morale of the player and the team in their next game.
Of course, Lobby Stars got the best from that encounter against Rivers United. 3 goals to 2, Michael. It ended in down there in Makurdi. Lobby Stars, of course, they continue to maintain their momentum on the log.
Yeah, they continue to maintain their momentum on the log, winning another title contender in Enyimba. I think it was
Rivers United.
Against Rivers United.
Are they really title contenders?
Yeah.
Because where they are now.
Maybe you say former title contenders, because looking at their position on the log right now, I think it has not been very, very encouraging. And looking at their recent result as well, I think Rivers United, they have actually not been at their A game this season, both at home and in some of the continental games that they've played so far. So I think Rivers United, I don't see them finishing very, very strong. Or even within the top 5 this season, looking at their form. Both home and away, they find it very difficult to take their chances. And even if they do score, they conceive goal. And that has been their greatest undoing. In their defense line seems to be very, very frail. That is why they continue to conceive goal every now and then. I think it's a bad result from Rivers United.
Not a very good result, of course, for Rivers United. Niger Tornadoes beat Sporting Lagos. Sporting Lagos returning back to, will I say, they are struggling from after having the best against Remo Stars in the last game. What do you make of it? They lost to Niger Tornadoes by 1 goal to 0.
Not surprised. Like I said earlier, I mentioned Sporting Lagos and Doma United as 2 of the teams that started in season on a very high note. But as the season wears on, they seem to have lost their form out there. I think it's a disappointing one for Sporting Lagos. I expected them to build on their last results, but then they were unable to get all 3 points. I think it's a disappointing one for them so far this season. After starting the season, very, very good. Now they are actually struggling to make the top 10. So I think they need to work on themselves, because though you may say, yes, experience can't, they are just coming into the league barely 2 years. But then, looking at what they did last season, where they were actually competing, with some of the big traditional teams here, one expected them at least to continue to ride high the way they did when the league started. But it looked as though that experience is not there for them, to capitalize. So I think it's a disappointing one for Sporting Lagos.
Disappointing result, of course, for Sporting Lagos. But since talking about the fixtures today, Aqua United, of course, they got the best. They got the best, in that encounter against Bender Insurance. It ended 3-1, Michael, in favor of Aqua United.
Very big win for Aqua United. Having defeated Enyimba in their last 23 games, 3-1 away in Uyo. In their second game, they lost the second game. Maybe we thought that they have gone back to their resetting of losing games out there, but then they came back in the third game in a row to win, this very one. That is winning 2 out of 3 so far. I think it has been a good one for them. Let's hope that they can build on this. My problem with them is that when they win one game, you look as though the confidence is back. In their next game, when you expect them to also, build on that last victory, they just collapse. So let's hope that it's not going to be the same, issue again, that after winning 3-1 in their next game, they are going to lose 3-0.
And of course, we saw Kano Pillars, they played 1-1 draw against Enugu Rangers. Of course, the traditional side, traditional teams in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Enugu Rangers were able to get an away point against Kano Pillars.
Very impressive for Enugu Rangers. Very, very difficult for you to go out there, over there in the north, so playing any of this another team. It's always very difficult for you to go out there and pick a single point. But I think Enugu Rangers, they were able to dig deep and get a point, which is very, very vital for them. You must say kudos to Rangers, football club for what they've done, because I can actually count few teams that can go away and pick such a very valuable point to the northern teams out there.
And of course, Kwara United, they beat Bayelsa United by 1-0. And also Sunshine Stars, they got the best against Katsina United by 1-0 as well. Kennedy Boboye doing something spectacular with the Sunshine Stars, Michael.
Yeah, I think he's a magical one who truly knows how to bring back confidence and winning mentality into any team that he goes out there. He's a very, very experienced coach. When you talk about some of the coaches, some of the fine coaches in the NPFL, I think you can't actually mention about 6 coaches without sounding the name of Kennedy Boboye, because of his experience, and he has also traveled far and wide when you're talking about the Nigeria Professional Football League here. So we expect him to be riding on high, and that is why any team that he goes into, he will definitely bring back that winning mentality into the team. We saw what he was able to do within the short spell that he had with Heartland, where he was able to revive the hope and the result of Heartland. They began to get some win out there, and also improve on the medals log. But immediately he left, Heartland went back to the losing streak with Christian Obi, and immediately he went away to a new club. We saw how he was able to continue to carry the team along, changing the narrative out there, building that mentality of a winning culture within the players out there. So I think Boboye is an experienced coach, and we must also give him kudos for what he has done for this team within the short period of time that he has been there so far.
Michael, there is a breaking news in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Katsina United coach Bala, of course, has called it a quit after that loss against Sunshine Stars.
Yeah, the result hasn't been very favorable one for his team out there. And of course, when the team is not doing quite well, you can't actually blame any other person. What comes to your mind first is, the coach. It's either the coach is not good enough for the players, but nobody talks so much about, players. When a team is not doing quite well, what they talk about is the coach. And of course, you can't actually exonerate the coach out of the picture when a team is not doing quite well, because if the team is also doing well, the credit also goes to the coaches. Likewise, when a team is doing very bad, nobody cares to know whether the players are not playing well. What they know is that it is the handler talking about the coach of the team that is always at fault, and that is why when the hammer swings, it's not going to land on the players, it always land on the coaches. It's either you are get fired or you are relieved of your position and all of that. So I think the result that has been getting so far is not to be compared with what the authority out there is expecting. So they deem it necessary that possibly they were contemplating of letting him go, but it was, I mean, under the card, but they didn't make it very, very public. Then coupled with the bad result he got, a few days ago, maybe he thought maybe it is time for him to call it a quit and bow out of the stage, so that another person that can come and revive the aspiration and hope of the club out there.
All right, let's stay away from the Nigerian Premier Football League as we talk about the UEFA Champions League now. Michael, was really a very impressive performance, of course, for Arsenal Football Club after they were, of course, able to take down Porto down to penalties, and they were able, of course, to get the victory and getting down to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League after 14 years. What do you make of that performance yesterday for Arsenal?
Impressive display, in my word. It was a great moment, a great display from Arsenal point of view. The players, the coaches as well, everybody were very, very instrumental toward helping Arsenal to get to this point. Arsenal, just like you said earlier, it took them 14 years to get to the quarterfinal. It dated back in 2011, even when Arsene Wenger was still there. Arsene Wenger couldn't go through for about 7 good times, 7 consecutive times in a row. He tried to pass the stage of round 16, and it wasn't to be. But Mikel Arteta, within the shortest period of time that he has, making it to the Champions League, bringing them back into the Champions League, discourse after 6 years absent, and he's doing a great job for himself. I think it was a massive, massive display. So that defense splitting pass from Martin Odegaard. This is the quality of a player that you truly know that, yes, when he's in your team, you can bank on him to give you those magical moments out there. Courtesy of that defense splitting pass that he squared to Trossard, he was able to convert it into the net, and that pegged the game at 1-1. But they went to penalty shooter. Porto as well, don't forget, we must also give them kudos for the job they did, because looking at the form of Arsenal in the league, where they were actually beating teams 5-0, 4-0, 6-1, and all of that, people thought that it was going to be a total whitewash of Porto when they come to the Emirates Stadium, but then they were able to hold their own. I tell you, Arsenal didn't have the best of their game, if you agree with me, if you actually watch that game very well. Their marksman, talking about Saka, he was completely marked out of that game. Seriously, you had to go back and watch the game. But then, courtesy of the brilliance of Odegaard through that pass, they were able to get that goal. Immediately they got that goal, though they could not also find the breakthrough to always capitalize and at least get the second goal. Porto were able to push them to the edge. They had to dig deep in that very one. And one will say, I was listening to a friend that was saying that it was luck. And, when a game gets to penalty shooter, it's always a game of luck. It can go either way. We've seen some of the best, footballers in the world, throwing away penalties, the likes of Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, just name them, at crucial stage. So when it gets to penalty shooter, I knew it, that it was going to go either way. So we must also give kudos to Porto for what they did as well.
We saw a very impressive performance from Arsenal goalkeeper David Raya. What do you make of his performance? And taking a look at that performance yesterday, he was able to save he was able to save a penalty, of course, that actually helped Arsenal to get to the quarterfinals of the competition. That performance yesterday, does it end the debate of David Raya and Aaron Ramsdale as the number one goalkeeper, or of who is the number one goalkeeper of Arsenal Football Club? Does it end that debate?
Yeah, for me, it has been a mixed opinion from Arsenal fans and football followers all over the world since yesterday's heroics from Raya. But then I still don't think that it has ended the debate out there, because that you're able to make 2 penalty saves doesn't make you maybe better than the next goalkeeper. We've seen players, or keepers rather, making some 1 or 2 mistakes or committing errors out there. Not that they are not good per se, but sometimes you cannot always get it right. We've seen the world best keepers that you could think of: Fabian Barthez, Michael Chilavert, Gigi Buffon, name them, Ike Casillas, making some one or two blunders out there, but these are best keepers that you could ever think of. But so for me, I do not think that because of the fact that Raya saved 2 penalties now is clear the doubt on whether Ramsey is not good and all of that. So, but that debate will continue because of the heroics of saving 2 penalties. Because just like you say now, because of the South African goalkeeper, during the African Cup of Nations, that he was able to show good exploit out there, saving about 5 penalties. Does it make him better compared to Vincent Enyama? Of course, no. So you can't actually judge because of the fact that the keeper saved 2 penalties that is better than the next keeper. No, I do not want to look at it from that angle. But though the debate will continue to rage on from Arsenal fans as they are having divided opinion right now. But I tell you, fans will always be fans. They will always be what they are. That whenever you are doing very well for their club side, they praise you to the high hope. But whenever you commit a slightest blunder, that same fans that were blaming, that was holding you to a high esteem, praising you, they will also come back, with doing tantrums against you because of the fact that you made one silly mistake. So these things are bound in football. So I do not want to align myself with that line of thought that Raya, because he saved 2 penalties, now better than Ramsey.
Barcelona were able to get past Napoli. 3-1 ended in that particular encounter. 4-2 on aggregate.
Good one for Barca. With the limited squad that he has right now, also injury plagued in the midfield, and of course, the vocal point of Barcelona Football Club is all about the midfield. When you take away the midfield of Barcelona as a football club, then you've totally stopped them from not perfecting their plan accurately. So looking at the Barcelona midfield that has these injury problems, injury crisis, the likes of Pedri is out, Gavi is out, Ferran Torres, De Jong, Balde. These are key name players for Barcelona so far, out, injured this season. And Xavi had to resort to going back to the academy, talking about the La Masia, to bring in young players out there, which naturally are not players that on Barcelona level you want to give them first team shirt. Look at the likes of Yamin Lamal, Piqué. We saw the young 17-year-old defender he drafted into the squad yesterday, and he was able to keep the likes of Victor Osimhen, Ivica Krastenia, Raspadori at bay, as they couldn't express their prowess in front of the goals yesterday. So I think for me it was a massive display from Barcelona point of view, and I want to say congratulations to Xavi, because despite everything that is happening, Barcelona is still contending, pushing for the Champions League, and also contending for the league as well.
Atletico Madrid will be in action against Inter Milan tonight, and we'll see Borussia Dortmund against PSV and Devon. Those are the matches, of course, we'll be expecting tonight in the UEFA Champions League. But at this point, we'll have to call it to wrap. Tomorrow, 7 a.m., will be another time where we'll make a return for Sports Talk, of course, to bring you the results from the UEFA Champions League, as well as the performance of Team Nigeria at the All-African Games. Michael, it's been an impressive time this evening.
Sure, always a pleasure doing this with you, even as we make a return tomorrow morning.
The conversation continues on our different social media handle. You can go down there, of course, to follow us, and of course take a look at the latest down there. Peace and unity always the pathways, of course, to progress. My name is Kingsley Emmanuel. Thanks for watching.
From the line.